In Washington, D.C., the owners of 3 high-end brothels have been arrested, which may lead to the discovery of a black book full of powerful politicians. And in New York, a maniac is wanted for a string of subway attacks in which women are targeted. And if you think we can go more than 4 episodes without Mike mentioning Murdaugh, well, think again. God. Think again.
That can't happen.
His obsession continues. These stories and more coming at you today, Friday, November 10th on Real Life Real Crime Daily. And I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino. Happy Friday, guys.
What up, Friday?
Friday fun day.
Got to say 2 quick things as we get into this Friday show. November 10th of 1929. Sal Agovino was born in Brooklyn, New York. My father would have been 94 today.
Really? Oh, wow.
Love you, Dad. Miss you.
Sorry.
My niece, Sally Beth, born on November 10th. So she got my father's name. So my sister named her daughter Sally Beth after my father, Sal. Sally turns 30 today, and my wife is on a plane on her way to see Sally for her shower before her wedding. And Sally has been battling cancer here for the last year and is going to walk down the aisle in a month. And you are the greatest kid in the world, and I love you to death and so proud of you.
That's awesome. Real quick, because I'm remiss for Thursday's show. My oldest, Caitlin Michelle Overton, turned 25.
25.
Can you believe that? She's out in San Diego.
Well, you must have been 16 when that
and my
action
brother,
happened.
who died when he was 7, his birthday was on the 8th, David.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Well, I don't have any birthdays going on today that I'm aware of.
But you got a present for everybody. Tell them about it real quick.
Oh, yeah. So,
y'all going to love this shit.
I'm going to geek out with y'all really fast. And, I do some back work stuff for the show and behind the scenes things. And
always digging, always researching, always improving the Vision Podcast Studio.
One of the things that I did was we're trying to improve the listener experience from a visual standpoint. Right. And one of the ways in which you do that is obviously by showing pictures of the topics you're talking about, which we post on Facebook and videos and all that. And it's on fire, and we do a great job with that, and y'all seem to enjoy it. But another thing that you're going to be able to do now, and this is with certain apps, we haven't figured out all of the ones, but I'll mention one, which is called Overcast. I know that it works through this app. So if you don't have it, check it out. It's a really, really neat app.
It's a podcast listening app.
I've been using it for 10 years, folks. Believe it is the best podcatcher app out there. You can do not only ad-supported podcasts, but if you listen to a bunch of subscription-based podcasts through Patreon or Apple or others, you can get them on that app as well.
That's right, and this is not a paid advertisement.
Right, this is not a commercial for them.
We're really...
it ought to be.
It ought to be. Yes, it ought to be. But one of the things you can do through that app is as you're listening to the show, when we switch from one topic to another, an actual picture of whatever we're talking about will pop up. If we're talking about Murdaugh in jail, it might pop up a picture of Murdaugh in jail, so you can kind of see that and have that visual. But not only that, you can actually scroll over on that picture and it'll bring up the timestamps for each segment, and you can click on if you want to hear kinky crimes before you step into work, you can click on it and do that.
What's really important about that is that every time Mike's story comes up, they can just skip over.
Megan Haley's going to love this app. She can just go right in and go to your stories and not have to hear my voice.
As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is for Mike's stories, we'll put Mike's story / and that way it'll be real easy to find and skip if you
call
want to.
This the Megan Haley feature.
Anyway, it's genius, y'all, and we'll keep updating you on it as Jim does it. But I'm a visual person too, and listening to stories is great, but having the pictures pop up and having the ability to go to whatever section you want to listen to is fire. So great job, Jim.
Thank you. And like we said, it's certain apps have that technology, certain do not yet. So if your particular app doesn't, I know Overcast does, and I'll keep you posted on some others as I find
and we'll
them.
put them on social media also. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it over 6 years, and I've never seen anybody that had that yet. So as far as podcasting,
that's right.
But it's amazing. Let's get into some crime time for Friday.
All right, and we're going to bring you to Washington, D.C. first today. Some big news coming out of Washington,
people's in trouble.
You're going to be in trouble. I bet you. I guarantee you there's some marriages right now that are on the rocks.
I thought the Ashley Madison scandal was bad.
The Justice Department said on Wednesday it is investigating politicians, military officers, and government contractors for buying sex through a high-end brothel network operating in Massachusetts and the D.C. suburbs. Mm-hmm. Federal prosecutors in Massachusetts charged 3 people with running the network: Han Lee, Jumayung Lee of Massachusetts, and James Lee of California. The 2 Massachusetts defendants were scheduled to have an initial court appearance Wednesday afternoon. The D.C. area brothels were located in Fairfax and Tysons, Virginia. The defendants rented high-end apartments, paid for women's flights and transportation, and advertised sexual services available for hourly rates ranging from $350 to $600. Prospective buyer, an hour. Well, I mean,
jeez.
Yeah, they ain't cheap over there.
Yeah.
Prospective buyers were instructed to fill out forms with detailed personal information, including their names, addresses, employers, and a reference if they have one. So it's like going to the doctor's office.
Yeah,
they hand you that clipboard and you get all aggravated. There you go.
Who you are if you're dumb enough to do that.
Yeah. Apparently they had a lot of dumb people. The Justice Department said it is investigating numerous people who may have paid for sex, including politicians, high-tech and pharmaceutical executives, doctors, military officers, government contractors, and most of these individuals possess security clearances.
Exactly.
Professors, lawyers, scientists. The department gave no further details about these individuals. Tysons, where one brothel was located, is a 30-minute drive from D.C. and is a hub for the tech and defense sectors. An agent with the Department of Homeland Security said he believes there are potential of hundreds of yet to be identified customers who availed themselves in this scheme. The agent described using cell phone location data, physical surveillance, financial records, and interviews with customers to track down information. A lawyer for Jumayung Lee, how you like them apples, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. A lawyer for Han Lee declined to comment, reached by phone. The manager for the Tysons apartment complex described in the affidavit said she had no information about the investigation. And I'm just going to start this off with, I mean, really?
Yeah.
It seems like a big waste of money to me, brother.
Well, that is not.
I know it's illegal, but come on.
Yeah, you know what?
You mean the investigation?
Yeah, I mean the whole.
Yeah. But
what about the $600 an hour? That's a big waste of money too.
The problem is
they're paying for sex, man.
I get that, but them having the security clearance and everything else. I don't know if the Lees or Chinese or Vietnamese or whatever, they could come back on you on that, right?
Right,
and use that as a way to try to get information.
That's the point. Yeah. So
when you say military officers, and the scientists and all that. So I got a buddy of mine, and he won't say he works for the CIA, but he's a doctor and a physicist and all this. And when he goes to his work, I know they have to leave their cell phones and shit outside the building, and they scan them and search them coming and going. I mean, if they get one of these people in there and the penis makes them weak, and then gets some pillow talk out of them, it could be a real problem.
Penis makes them weak. I like it.
Makes them.
Yeah. Well, and right. And I think that's where the issue lies. I think you hit the nail on the head because they act in and of itself.
Right.
Look, man, you take someone to dinner, it's a couple $100. If you get laid that night, did you pay $200 to get laid? I mean,
paying for one.
Look, you can get the buffet. You can get the champagne room for 2 hours. The girl of your choice at the landing strip. For less than that $600. And
yes, indeed.
I'm hoping the management landing strip.
There's no sex in the champagne.
Buy this advertising.
It's going to be interesting to
see
see how many people are actually compromised.
First one to go. Who are they going to get? Somebody in
officers.
Congress. Somebody in Congress. Who are they going to get?
Oh, I have no
What
idea.
creepy Congress person?
I don't pay attention to politics.
Okay. They're no fun.
Hopefully the only one never mind, it doesn't matter. But all right, let's go to Mike's town, the Big Apple. And a maniac has assaulted 4 women in separate attacks in Brooklyn subways, according to the NYPD. The attacks have taken place over the past 10 days, but the suspect is still at large. The attacker first struck around 8 a.m. on October 28 when he walked up to a 46-year-old woman and punched her in the head and face on the southbound R train. He then fled the station, and the woman was taken to a medical center in stable condition. That same day, around noon, the suspect is accused of slugging a 32-year-old woman in the face as she boarded a northbound train. That woman suffered minor injuries and refused medical attention. 2 days later, in the same station, the assailant socked a 24-year-old woman in the face on the northbound train platform and ran away on foot. The woman in the third attack refused medical attention. In the most recent attack, which happened Friday, the man approached a 53-year-old woman on a northbound train at Flatbush Avenue Station and began yelling at her. He then punched her multiple times in the face before fleeing, according to the NYPD. The 4th victim sustained minor injuries and refused medical attention. All 4 attacks were unprovoked, and none of the victims recognized the suspect. The series of assaults follow a pattern of increasing violence in the city's subway system. Transit felony assaults are up 4.5% this year compared to the same time period last year. And there have been 491 felony assaults in the transit system so far in 2023. Now, this dude might have some anger issues. Or he might, maybe he's mad at his mama.
What's unbelievable is they have this great clear picture
That
of him.
was what I was going to say.
How can they not? How can no one in New York City know who this freaking guy is and identify him?
That's why we brought in RRC Daily, because now we're bringing worldwide attention to it. He's not getting the proper
look. And I've never been on a subway or ridden a subway or anything like that, but I would imagine those subway terminals have cameras everywhere, right? Or do they?
They never did. I don't know if they do.
Really?
That's
surprising.
If they do. I'm going to say no. I mean, when you think about all the crimes that have gone on, it's always someone's cell phone camera that's getting that footage.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think they've got them.
I'm surprised they don't.
They
because
probably
that's
just
where
get destroyed easily by
they must have
they get vandalized
like
really
entrances, the stairways going down.
Because there's nowhere high to put them.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have high ceilings anywhere. Maybe in Grand Central, in the main Grand Central area, but once you get down into a subway or any of the smaller subway stations along the way, you've got low ceilings in those tunnels.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully with that clear picture, and we'll post that on Facebook, but with that clear picture, somebody will recognize him. Maybe one of our listeners will recognize him. Who knows?
Posted in the new app thing that you're working, right?
Yeah,
Visual
that's
aids,
right. Visual aids.
He's still out there as of this morning, and they're throwing reward money out there and Crime Stoppers hotline, all that kind of stuff. So
they'll get him now that we brought attention to it.
That's right. Hell, he might listen to us.
Right. Go turn yourself in, homie.
Yeah.
You're going to get punched.
We don't approve.
You're going to get punched in the face.
Right.
Well, you asked for it, and you got it.
Please tell me it's Murdaugh.
We bring you breaking news regarding All-Woody team member and all-around great guy who would never, ever, ever hurt Maggie or Pawpaw.
Right.
Alex Murdaugh.
Yeah.
The South Carolina court clerk at the center of Murdaugh's attempt to get a new trial broke her silence in a statement filed by prosecutors on Tuesday. She vehemently denies that she tried in any way to sway jurors toward a swift conviction. Quote, I did not tell the jury not to be fooled by evidence. I did not instruct the jury to watch him closely. I did not instruct the jury to look at his actions. I did not instruct the jury to look at his movements. I did not say to the jury, this shouldn't take long. Rebecca Hill further denied conversing with jurors about the case or preventing them from taking smoke breaks until they had wrapped up deliberation. She denied everything she's been accused of. In the 3-page affidavit that denies 26 separate allegations, the Colleton County court clerk also declared that she did not fabricate a Facebook post in order to get an undecided juror kicked off the panel. Indeed, the machinations alleged do not even begin to make sense, Deputy Attorney General Creighton Waters wrote in the filing. Only Alex Murdaugh could conceive of such a confounded gambit as even remotely plausible, and he is projecting his own calculating, manipulative psyche onto a dedicated public servant in an effort to save himself. In their motion for a new trial, defense lawyers Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin, you remember those dudes, accused Rebecca Hill of pressuring jurors to reach a swift guilty verdict so she could secure a book deal. The South Carolina AG's office, which prosecuted the case, asked the judge to deny the defense's motion for a hearing about a new trial based upon 4 juror allegations of misconduct by Hill. Murdaugh's lawyers cited affidavits from juror number 630, who deliberated, juror number 785, who was removed from the panel for discussing the case, and a defense paralegal who memorialized statements from jurors 741 and 326. So the Murdaugh's lawyers identified 4 different jurors. The prosecution filing noted a curious twist. Juror number 630 happens to be juror number 785's tenant.
That's not good.
So they're kind of a combined team there working together. Even if the defense's accusations are true, the prosecutor argued none of the jurors who deliberated alleged their verdict was based upon pressure applied from Hill. So, in other words, even if she did apply pressure, they didn't respond to her pressure. They did what they did because that's what they felt was the right thing to do. If the court agrees to grant a hearing on a new trial, Waters wrote that the state would prove the, quote, allegations to be unfounded and not credible. SLED agents interviewed most of the jurors, but not the landlord-tenant duo we spoke of, who provided affidavits directly to the defense team. None of those interviewed by SLED corroborated the tampering claims, according to the filing. In addition, 4 court staffers also provided statements denying that Hill had inappropriate conversations with jurors. So
I just want to say thank you again for giving me your OnlyFans login. And y'all, Miss Hill has her own OnlyFans page now. She doesn't need a book deal.
Does she really?
Yeah.
No.
I just made it up.
Have you taken a good look at Miss Hill?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of 65 plus folks with OnlyFans accounts.
Don't be age shaming.
No. I mean, I'm not shaming
one.
her. I'm saying I'm 65 plus. I've got a couple of years to go, Woody. Thank you.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something. And all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, They're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes, plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
All right, and
I'm not far behind you, bro.
and look, we're gonna move on, and a Playboy model and her son have been banned from an ice rink in Florida after unacceptable conduct during a kid's ice hockey game. Sarah Blake Cheek and her family are now no longer permitted in the building because of that unacceptable behavior at a recent game that Blake Cheek's son played in. The mom of 4 insists that she wasn't the problem, believing they have been punished for who she is rather than what happened.
OnlyFans.
In her version of events, there were multiple parent fights in the stands that night, and Sarah herself only got involved after one father who had been mocking her throughout the game laughed when her boy got cheap shotted on the boards. The 32-year-old said, "I turned around and said, 'Seriously?' He said, 'Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch.'"
Oh my God.
I'm quoting, and then proceeds to tell me he will beat my fucking ass. Of course, I defend my son. What kind of adult cheers for a hurt kid? My husband stands up and tells him that's enough, and things settle down and we finish the game. She adds, the environment that night was insane. A referee and a couple of dads had words. There were 6 other incidents. Yet we were the only ones banned from the rink. The former salon owner, who now makes money from modeling and OnlyFans,
I said it, I guess.
added, I go above and beyond to conceal my identity at my kids' games because of how famous I am. But there are always bad apples in the bunch who seem to target you where it hurts the most, and that's towards my kids. This all happened at Ellington Ice Sports Complex in Florida, and the general manager of the rink later got in touch with Sarah to inform her of the ban. The email said, "It has been decided by rink management that your child is no longer allowed to play and your family is no longer permitted into the building. The conduct displayed at Friday's game via video footage and interviews with patrons was unacceptable and is not tolerated at the rink." Sarah, who earns up to $50,000 a month for her work on
Holy shit.
OnlyFans,
I gotta get me one of those, man.
said that her boy was devastated when he was told he couldn't play. She believes she was targeted because she is an OnlyFans and Playboy model. Wow. When we finally told Cam he didn't believe us, she said he thought we were pranking him. He started crying. She added, "It's shocking to me that anyone has an issue with what I do for a living because you have to seek it out and pay for it." After the incident, I did have 12 requests from dads at the rink. I bet she did.
Oh, my God.
I don't use my kids' hockey games to advertise for my business. I don't confirm requests from other dads on my social media. So they have to do those things anonymously. And so no more hockey. And she thinks it's because of her modeling.
Making $600,000 a year for showing
just on OnlyFans,
for showing her boobs.
Yeah. Well, more than that if it's $50,000 a month.
Well, I don't know because I'm
right?
not on there. Agos still hasn't given me his login yet.
No, 50 a month is 600. grand,
600,000.
But she does modeling on the side as well, so she probably makes $1 million with all her stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. But she said she specifically makes $50,000
and a beautiful woman, and probably she's going to get more.
Right.
So we'll post her picture on the Facebook.
Hey, one of you fans out there, go ahead and send me your login so I can check all this stuff out.
Mike's going to be a subscriber tonight.
He's already subscribing to her.
Mike's thinking through whether, so, as a business, you can refuse service to anyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's a league.
Oh,
right?
no, they throw their ass out.
It's a league playing in a venue, and this is the owner of the venue throwing.
That appears to be the case, but the league may be in agreements with it. I don't know.
Well, and the league exclusively plays in that venue. I don't know. Must
be.
I think some of the, you get these two teachers that are suspended there in the St. Louis area.
Yeah. And I can't imagine that there's a lot of ice skate rinks in that little town in Florida. I mean,
no,
that might be the only place.
It probably is the only place, and they probably play the games at 3:00 in the morning. Which California, that's the only way that they could play hockey and have leagues is you're playing at 2 and 3 in the morning because you barely have any rinks. You got to travel far to do it. But it seems like the rights of some of these people on that platform are really being challenged, and they're losing jobs and being kicked out of places. I don't think they have a right to do that.
Well, I don't know.
Mike said he would represent her.
I was going to say Mike needs to go
should have stayed in law school.
Degrees. Yeah. All right. Y'all already know that I'm the correspondent for both Otters and Whales, and I find this story particularly disturbing. The murders in this case are killer whales, and the victim is a poor baby otter's mother, right? At the same time, it's an utterly incredible tale of survival. A newborn sea otter is on her way to full recovery after surviving a violent attack by 2 wild orcas earlier this month. I call that survival of the fittest. The female pup, who has yet to be named, and her mother were floating in the ocean near Homer, Alaska, when the killer whales set their sight on the pair. A chilling video taken from a nearby fishing boat shows the whales using their powerful tails to smack the otters from beneath the surface, sending the pup and her mother flying through the air. And the orcas relentlessly pursued the pair, taking turns to kick the otters and push them beneath the surface. The mother otter refused to dive beneath the surface to escape the attackers, which is a typical method of survival for otters when attacked. But she did this because her pup was only a few hours old. And ultimately, the whale separated the pair and targeted the mother until she didn't resurface. The orcas swam away after their kill, leaving the crying orphan pup alone to survive its first few hours of life without its mom. But luckily, an ASLC lab tech and a wildlife response team member happened to be aboard the fishing boat and rushed into action to rescue the newborn. They said it wasn't until the entire event ended, the wild orcas had left the area, and the pup started crying out for his mom that I knew we had to think about the next move, Natalie Hunter said. After getting permission from the ASLC, Hunter and friends who had also had experience with wildlife rescue pulled the pup from the water and immediately began care. Her cries were gurgly, and when we got her out of the water, she was soaked. Her coat was repelling water and keeping her buoyant like it should have been. The group rescued the pup just in time. An evaluation showed the baby was fatigued and hungry and was still attached to the umbilical cord, indicating it was only a few days old. She was taken to the ASLC Wildlife Response Center in Anchorage, and the newborn otter's attack is a unique story for the center, which typically responds to struggling animals without knowing the circumstances that led up to the rescue. They said very rarely do we know how a wildlife response patient got to the location and the condition it was found in. For most reported cases of abandoned seal or otter pup, we have the reporter watch for a length of time to see if the mother returns. In this rare case, we know exactly what happened to the newborn pup, said the curator. The center later discovered that the killer whales were from a pod of transient orcas known to prey on animals. Well, fuck, that's
like a gang. It's a gang.
That's just part of human life.
There's a reason they call them killer whales.
Right? The orphan pup is the second one admitted to ASLC in less than a week, and another female baby was found 5 days earlier. Likely the 3-month-old was dehydrated, malnourished, and showed signs of severe stress. And both otter pups are under the constant supervision at ASLC, and they work toward their recovery. Northern sea otter pups receive constant care and attention from their moms until around 6 months old. Whales got to eat too.
Yeah, and orcas ain't no joke.
They got to eat.
That is a gang of just bad whales.
Hey, bad whales.
Bad whales. You don't see that mama's got a little baby. I mean, this is why we're having the SeaWorld event, and we are
30th.
On February 30th of 2024 to make sure that people understand that. So there's no shark called killer shark. There's not a breed of shark called killer shark like that whale. That's
great white shark.
It's just understood. Bull sharks and the great whites are killers. Killer whales. I don't have
tiger sharks.
I like whales.
Bad.
Yeah, I
Tiger
like
sharks
whales.
bad.
I like the music they play. You know, the voices and shit.
Mm-hmm.
The music they play. Yeah, I see a killer whale running around with big headphones on, and
yeah, well, they be talking to each other.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
Well,
they can communicate.
All right.
Okay, we're going to move to Texas, and this is a controversial story, and the board had to be brought in on this story. So before I was approved to bring you this story, I had to win a rather lengthy battle against Jim with the board. It seems the board's record keeping was less detailed than it should be, according to the bylaws, and they erroneously believed that Jim was the official correspondent for all stories involving gamecocks. After much debate, it was determined that Jim's expertise and exclusivity pertained strictly to cocks and not gamecocks. Therefore, I am sanctioned to bring you this story. A sellout crowd of nearly 300 people in Texas on Sunday were saddened to learn that the event they came to see was not going to happen. It was replaced with a new event. The new event involved San Jacinto County sheriffs chasing after the 300 cock enthusiasts who had come to see some quality fighting. 19 cock enthusiasts were not swift enough to escape and were apprehended by deputies, according to the sheriff's office. The San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office turned to Facebook to announce that they had received a call around 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, alerting them to an alleged incident involving animal cruelty occurring at 100 Maxine Road in the county. Upon arrival at the scene, a patrol sergeant and 2 patrol deputies discovered an illegal cockfighting event with about 300 people in attendance in a covered structure with temporary seating, a kitchen, and a cockfighting arena. Deputies were also able to locate various items of gambling paraphernalia, including a dry erase board documenting various fights and matches between cocks, which indicated that some 44 matches had already taken place so far that day. 44 separate matches, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Deputies stated that they were able to apprehend 19 people while others ran into the woods nearby, leaving 100 vehicles behind, which resulted in the towing of 75 vehicles, with 43 pending forfeiture. According to a police report, deputies uncovered the following in their findings. 96 live cocks were seized, and a seizure hearing is pending for the final disposition custody of those cocks. 19 suspects were arrested on scene for observing and or participating in the cockfighting, of which at least 7 were illegal immigrants. 4 custom utility trailers equipped for storing and transporting cocks have been seized and are pending forfeiture. 22 vehicles that were towed from the scene have been or will be released back to registered owners. 5 fully loaded semi-automatic pistols were seized from vehicles with cockfighting paraphernalia also present. A small amount of marijuana was located and seized from 2 vehicles with cockfighting paraphernalia also present. Deputies say in total approximately $22,096 was seized from 19 arrested suspects, with 1 subject found to be in possession of $6,000. Is it a crime to have $6,000 in your pocket? That's kind of weird. This is an ongoing investigation with a large amount of investigative work yet to be conducted. Those found to have been at the scene will be charged to the maximum extent the law allows. That's according to Greg Capers, who is the San Jacinto County Sheriff. Animal cruelty will not be tolerated in our county.
All right. You done?
Yep.
All right. The last state in the union to outlaw cockfighting, Louisiana. And it didn't happen until late 90s. When I was in high school, I went to my first swim went to their first cockfighting thing, and I was all drunk as shit.
Swim was
I kept saying, we're going to the chicken fights. We're going to the chicken fights. So evidently it's not chickens that fight. It's cocks, roosters, right? So I remember that. But we used to bust them, especially with dog fights and shit. But rooster fighting was legal here. It's like I say recently now. It's been 30 years.
Seems recent. Though,
I'm sure it still goes on. I mean,
it goes on.
Yeah.
The big thing now is dog fighting, and I didn't have any time for that. Miss Jericho's years, that we'd sneak up on one of them and we get the tips and set up on one of them. And, it's a pretty dangerous situation. But seizing the cash and the vehicles, every one of those vehicles is $250. They got towed, and you got to get your shit out, and you got to provide insurance and whatever.
Well, and I couldn't believe 44 matches. So how many matches would there actually
they
be?
They go on
day?
forever. Some of the matches don't. The matches. It's not like they have 5-round matches. They put them in there until they kill each other. It didn't take that long. They put razor blades on their legs. Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah. So they strap razor blades on whatever you call them, their legs or their feet, and they put them in there and they. Until it doesn't take
That's
long.
really cruel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cruel. So a match lasts a couple of minutes?
A couple minutes. And then if your your cock that you bet on wins, then it wins.
And they have like stats on all of these cocks, so they know their record going in,
people know
odds and everything for this betting?
Not quite that much, but they know who's the baddest cock in the room.
That's right.
Damn.
Who's got the biggest cock?
The biggest cock.
All right, we're going to take you to Louisiana, and a woman has been arrested after a 66-year-old was beaten to death with a walker, Baton Rouge police say. The woman is accused of beating a 66-year-old to death with that walker last Thursday, claiming the older woman wanted a relationship with her boyfriend. Denise Law, who is 37, was booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on Friday on account of first-degree murder in the killing of Melinda Reed. Reed suffered severe head trauma when she was beaten during a confrontation between the women around 2:40 p.m. on Thursday at a residence. Witnesses at the scene told detectives that the two began to argue inside the house after Law accused Reed of wanting a relationship with her boyfriend. The argument continued as the woman walked outside, which is when Law armed herself with a metal walker and began to strike Reed several times, causing her to fall to the ground. A witness told police that Law continued to hit Reed while she was on the ground until bystanders were able to get her to stop. Law also threw Reed's cell phone into a storm drain, which it was later recovered by firefighters. Reed was taken to the hospital, but never regained consciousness.
Yes, indeed.
A 37-year-old beating a 66-year-old to death
because she thinks the 66-year-old wants a piece of her man.
Yep. And first-degree murder charge, you ain't never getting out.
No. Well, they're going to drop it down to second degree.
Still ain't never getting out.
She's never getting out there. You're right.
No, and it's just another. The 37s don't belong with 66s. I mean, it's just.
I don't understand people doing that. Like,
horrible.
Like Jim said the other
situation.
day, people be cutting people's heads off like it's nothing, right?
Like it's nothing.
Killing them. That's we did another story recently where somebody beat somebody to death with a walker. So
no, they had the knife that came out of the bottom, the cane.
I remember that
the
too,
woman in
we
in
did
New
something
York.
about somebody with a walker beating it. I don't know if they killed him or not, but I was just thinking, man, that's fucked up. But all right, y'all, we got to do some kind of NFL or football reporting, even though most of you don't like it. But this is actually a crime. The boyfriend of former NFL great Earl Thomas's ex-wife was arrested for stealing his identity in a $1.9 million scam, y'all. The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office arrested 38-year-old New Orleans man Kevin J. Thompson, who is in a relationship with Thomas's ex-wife, Nina Thomas, according to NOPD. Well, that doesn't make any sense because that's two different organizations, but we'll go on. Thompson is accused of cashing Thomas's NFL checks, stealing from his bank account, and transferring car ownership for several vehicles. He faces charges including identity theft, forgery, money laundering, credit card fraud, computer fraud, and bank fraud. That Thomas was a 7-time Pro Bowler,
He was a great player. He was a great
3-time All-Pro, and 1-time Super Bowl champion as a member of the Seahawks' legendary Legion of Boom secondary.
Brian Bosworth.
This was back in the days when you actually
Bosworth was not part of the Legion of Boom.
Yeah, so Thompson used a forged driver's license that had his own photo and Thomas's information to create a bogus bank account. He then used that account to transfer auto titles, including one for a Rolls-Royce, Cullinan SUV, which he drove to the bank on the day he was arrested. He's accused of transferring titles to several vehicles and then selling them. It is unclear how he got physical possessions of the autos. The sheriff's office said Thomas Credit Union in Texas detected suspicious activity at Jefferson's Financial in June, notifying authorities that it was not Thomas who opened an account with the New Orleans bank. Thomas was arrested a second time when he attempted to retrieve the Rolls-Royce in a different vehicle that had been reported stolen. And he's free on bond. His attorney has declined to comment. The feds are also part of the case. Thomas and his ex-wife filed for divorce in 2020 and were later involved in a Christmas Eve incident that year in which both broke out weapons during an argument in a parking lot. And Thomas was then ordered to stay at least 400 feet away from Nina, who accused him of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well,
identity theft, honestly, no laughing matter.
Right.
It can literally slow your life down for about 5 years.
You're right. Longer than that.
Getting it right.
Get rid of it.
Well, it's a brave man that decides to do that to a bad dude like Earl Thomas. I mean, that was a bad man.
Well, he's going to be doing
the second baddest compared to Brian Bosworth. The Boz, as he's known throughout the league.
Who's now making a fortune on Dr. Pepper ads for no apparent reason. I wonder what he is getting paid for those Dr. Pepper ads.
He's getting a little
He's good on him. He's good on him. I'll give him that.
The Boz.
Who got run the fuck over by her.
Oh, did he ever?
Okay.
No, Bo Jackson, wasn't it?
Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes Your body goes through premenopause, menopause, and while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
Smoked his ass.
I need you guys at the end to weigh in on this. So follow this story closely with me. We're going to go to.
It's hard to follow anything that you do closely, Mike.
But we'll try.
Follow
It's
at
long as fuck.
at whatever distance is safe for you, Woody. We're going to the state of Maryland, where a former Maryland teacher allegedly engaged in sex acts with an underage middle school student, according to police, who say there could be more victims. Melissa Marie Curtis, who's now 31, was a teacher in Montgomery Village Middle School in Maryland when the alleged abuse is said to have happened back in 2015. The abuse allegedly continued for several months when Curtis was 22. So she's 31 now. This started when she was 22. The victim, who is now an adult, came forward with allegations in early October, which led to the investigation into the former teacher. Police have not yet released any details about the alleged sexual abuse, but detectives have said they believe there may be other victims, although they have not said why they believe there may be other victims. There's a picture of Curtis, the former teacher.
Will be in the new Jim Chapman bonus.
Yes,
materials.
she will. Yes, she will. Curtis was employed by the Montgomery School District for 2 years, according to police. She also taught at Lakelands Park Middle School, another school in Montgomery County. A warrant for Curtis's arrest was issued on October 31st on charges of sexual abuse of a minor and multiple accounts of third and fourth degree sexual offenses. She turned herself in on Tuesday morning. Detectives encourage potential victims to call, and they give out a number to call. So I want to say a couple things about this story. First, there's a good chance that all of this is true. And second, there's an equally good chance that all of this is bullshit. Right now, I'm kind of leaning toward bullshit. It's been 8 years since 2015. So why is the victim only coming out now? What actual evidence is there other than the alleged victim's word that anything happened? How come we don't know the victim's name? They're an adult now. Maybe there is evidence. It might not be physical evidence, but maybe they wrote something in a journal or shared their story with a friend at the time and swore them to secrecy. That kind of thing is possible, but there's nothing about anything contemporaneous to when these crimes were supposedly committed in the report. So second, the bat signal calling for other victims to come forward. I've been through this before with another case that we won't get into right now, but a lot of times it's come forward. Your identity will remain anonymous, and when you're talking about the kind of money, Montgomery County, Maryland is the wealthiest county in that state. It's DC suburbs, high-end DC suburbs there. They got plenty of money to settle cases like this, and many times people with deep pockets will settle a case to make it go away quickly rather than drag their good name through the court. I'm not saying she didn't do these things, but she's being dragged, her name, her reputation, all the way through, and nothing has been presented anywhere, and there's nothing else in her life.
Know what hasn't been presented yet. They're not going to give you everything. They're not going to make an arrest and be able to get a warrant from a judge unless there's viable evidence, at least probable cause. Whether it goes through and be adjudicated, that's to be seen. But I've had so many victims that come forward way many years after, and especially after you put up the bat signal. And one husband and wife team got away with it for 40 fucking years. And I was able to go back and find 30 something victims, and most that were adults that didn't want any part of it. Now they were married and had their own kids. So,
but you found real evidence.
I would say, you're damn right, I did. Okay. And I would say that you reserve. I would reserve judgment to these people do their job. There will be people that'll come out and try to just get some money out of it. But if it's legit, then I wouldn't want my name out there, even though I'm an adult now, when this lady raped me as a kid. We're talking about middle school, not high school. Like she was doing a 17-year-old. She's doing like a 5th grader.
If she was. But in the meantime, isn't it supposed to be that
make a fucking arrest with nothing? It just can't be supposed. They have to have something to go off of. And they're going to continue to investigate the case. And if she did it, fuck her. If she didn't do it, then she needs to get off. I don't believe in convicting people that are innocent, but I also don't believe in saying, oh, well, just because it's the richest school district in that state, that is probably a lot, just somebody wanting to get some money.
Like I said, I didn't say definitively. I'm just saying I've seen this before, and I'll bet you $1. Just my gut on this. I know you have.
I've seen it 1,000
Okay,
times.
so $1.
I bet you a case of whatever you're drinking.
Okay.
That something's going to come out, and I bet you she's going to get convicted. But we'll agree to disagree on this one and table it for this. This is one, y'all, that we're going to follow. Okay, deal?
You got $1.
All right.
All right.
And if you are a victim, step forward. And if you're not, don't step forward. Right?
There you go.
You can now take off that belt and move freely around the cabin.
That's right. It's Mile High Crime for Friday. And look, we're going to tell you a little bit about a giraffe. Well, we're going to tell you a lot about a giraffe. That's right. Mike peeked up, y'all, when I said giraffe. He's thinking animal story. That's not legal. Custom workers.
No, I'm just wondering if you're sanctioned to cover giraffes.
I am. Giraffes for free game. Custom workers at a Minnesota airport discovered a traveler had brought a unique souvenir in her luggage: giraffe feces. That's right. That's right. The passenger arrived at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport from Kenya. The passenger declared giraffe feces and stated she had obtained the droppings in Kenya and planned to make a necklace. The traveler said she had previously used moose feces to make similar jewelry at her home in Iowa. The agency's agricultural specialist seized the box, and the excrement was destroyed via steam sterilization. There's a real danger with bringing fecal matter into the U.S., Sutton Burke, director of field operations at the Chicago field office, said. If this person has entered the U.S. and has not declared these items, there's high possibility a person could have contracted a disease from this jewelry and developed a serious health issue. Bringing ruminant animal feces into the U.S. requires a veterinary services permit. The agency noted Kenya experiences African swine fever, classic swine fever, Newcastle disease, foot and mouth disease, and swine vascular disease. Giraffes inhabit 27 of the 47 counties in Kenya. The foundation said the disease has played a little understood role in the decline of giraffe populations throughout the country.
That should have been on What the Fuck.
Yeah, well,
who the fuck makes necklaces out of giraffe shit?
It must be petrified giraffe shit.
Must be, right?
Well, she did follow the rules in terms of claim. It's not like she tried to sneak the
I don't
giraffe
think
shit
she-
into the country, right?
No, they just discovered she had, they probably found it in her luggage and said, "What is this?" And she said, "Giraffe shit."
I thought she. I thought she claimed it.
she
She
did.
through.
Right?
Okay.
It was a box, and inside the box, they opened it, and they're like, "What is this?" And she said, "Giraffe shit."
And I'm going to make necklaces out
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. That's crazy.
There you go.
I
So,
never,
got to give her some credit for unique idea there.
right? Not as good as the
I don't know how hard that giraffe shit
swamp
gets.
games or whatever.
She probably has an Etsy.
boy.
You could buy. We ought to buy.
Some
Check,
draft shit.
check out her store on
She probably
Etsy.
does, I'm sure.
Let's see. Well, your anniversary's coming up. How about some, how about some hyena
idea.
dung? Hey,
Yeah,
Hyena dung
gift that
area.
keeps on giving all year
And
round.
scratch and sniff. You
Don't,
can, you can lick your finger and touch it. And
There-
get the-
hey, these are one of a
Serves as
kind.
perfume, too.
This is one of a kind earrings, honey. Not everybody can have hyena dung earrings.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot of husbands couldn't beat that, right?
Kinky Crimes for Friday. Yeah, this one's pretty good. They were looking to cop a field and wound up feeling a cop.
Uh-oh.
Right? Of a group of excited women were caught on camera mistaking a dashing police officer for a male stripper as he tried to shut down their rowdy party. Right? The incident was filmed by one of the party goers who later posted the footage to TikTok, where it's garnered more than 8,000 views. When the cop rocks up to shut down your event, but you all think he's a stripper, the amateur videographer known as Lisa wrote, the footage shows the cop bursting through the front door as the female fun seekers squeal with delight. Stripper, stripper! One giddy woman can be heard exclaiming as several attendees start grinding up against the officer. The clip cuts off before any further action can be seen, but Lisa claims the cute cop ended up leaving the party shortly after that mortifying moment. The way he ended
I'm
up
sure
just
he was
leaving,
real
right.
mortified.
The way he ended up leaving, he wanted to get out of there before his wife saw the video. The way he ended up just leaving because everyone started twerking around him, the TikToker said. Several viewers were humored by the mistake, taking to the comment section to share their thoughts. Bro, low-key was happy about the call-out, one amused viewer wrote, implying that they noticed a smile break out across the officer's face. I bet it did. The cop wouldn't be the first to go from law enforcement to exotic dancer, and should he seek a change of career. Last year, one ex-officer made the news after revealing she repurposed her handcuffs to become a stripper. After 3 decades in the force, Michelle Walton, 51, wows crowds with a frisky routine inspired by her previous job as a police officer. I created a stripping cop routine as I already have the nightstick and handcuffs, she declared in an interview.
Hey.
Right? She says, look,
Kinky.
51 years old.
Look, and
She said, my routine involves walking up on the stage, waving 2 blue lights around, and then stepping up on a chair and pretending to direct traffic. Then taking the first layer of my clothing off, she said, and I then step into the audience and dish out tickets with the offense of being too sexy.
Woo!
Right? That's funny.
Write me a ticket.
Yeah, you probably
Crimes.
shouldn't
Look.
send Bobby Beefcake, the cop, to that location.
Yeah, well, you could send anybody but a bunch of horny women drinking.
Let me tell you, I got that video, and I'm gonna post it on Facebook, y'all. And this is a legit cop, and he walks in, and they totally think he's a stripper. It's hilarious. And he says, all right, we gotta shut this down, and they all just start twerking,
Right.
grinding. Oh, take your clothes
well,
off. This sucker starts smiling, man. It's
Right?
funny.
It's like going to
great.
the Texas Club for
Yeah.
ladies' night back in the day when they had the male strippers from
Yeah.
6 to 9, and women got to drink for free, and the men got in at 9.
Yeah.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Fish in a barrel.
That's what Mike said.
All right.
I could bring
good-
up the latest
good-
episode of the Housewives of Beverly Hills, where they go to they go to Las Vegas and see the what's it called? What was the movie? Mike.
Magic Mike.
Yeah, they go to the Magic Mike live show.
Yeah. What city don't they have a housewives story about?
New Orleans,
Denham
Baton Rouge,
Springs.
Denham Springs.
Yeah.
Banjos.
Let's let's go to the desert to find today's moron. Arizona, at around 2:30 p.m. on November 5th, today's brain surgeon, Jason Tyler Smith, seized control of a Phoenix Fire Rescue 903 with one patient and 4 Phoenix Fire personnel inside the interior of the ambulance. So this guy decided to steal an ambulance with a patient and 4 fire rescue.
It's actually happened quite a few times.
Well, the ambulance had been parked outside in the area of Jackson Street and 3rd Avenue, which is downtown Phoenix. The defendant drove approximately 377 feet. 377 feet before one of the firefighters pushed him out of the driver's seat. I'm sorry, just 377 feet is pretty funny. The guy then tried to run from the area and was taken into custody by police just a couple of blocks away. Investigators state that Smith has a criminal history that involves a 5-year stint in Arizona prison for armed robbery. Smith was also sentenced to 30 days jail following an arrest in May of 23 for shoplifting in Scottsdale. Court documents also state that Smith was on probation at the time of the incident, and so a judge has set a $4,500 bond for Smith, and a preliminary hearing is scheduled for the 15th of November. Stealing an ambulance and making it all of 377 feet away certainly earned you some banjos.
Dumb criminal. We did one recently where he walked out of the hospital and took the ambulance. Remember that?
Yeah.
He couldn't get a ride home, and so he took the ambulance and literally took it.
I do remember that. What
in the Fugitive, what's his name steals the ambulance, remember?
Oh, that's right. Tommy Lee. No, not Tommy Lee. The other dude.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Super cops.
Time to put your hands up,
Super
get
cops.
low to the ground, and spread them while we honor today's super cop.
And we are honoring today's super cop, and we're going to take you to Toluca. How you like that? Toluca. A Toluca Police Department patrolman was awarded the Medal of Valor during the Toluca City Council meeting for pursuing a homicide suspect while off duty. And this is in the Cheyenne territory, Mike. So this is Indian territory, or Native American territory, I should say. On October 18th, Ohava Soto, and forgive me if I mispronounce those names, and a few of her friends were finishing the night with dinner at Brahms. Their meal ended in a foot chase for a man suspected of killing 2 people in a shooting earlier that evening. Soto, who was off duty at this time, said she and a few friends had just finished jiu-jitsu class when they made their way to Brahms. Meanwhile, across town at a residence, 3 people were shot, 2 of them killed and 1 injured. Jordan Hensley, the shooter, fled on foot, prompting Toluca Police Department officers to launch a search. While Soto was at Brahms, she noticed a couple patrol cars driving past. She pulled up her computer-aided driving design system on her phone to see what was happening. As the night went on, Soto monitored the CAD system to see what was developing, and in the notes section of the app, she noticed the name Jordan Hensley listed as a possible suspect. She was like, oh man, I know this kid. I just dealt with him last month. The people who were with me were like, that's crazy. After the friends finished their meal, Soto trailed behind the group and was the last one to leave. She glanced over, saw a guy standing there, and they locked eyes. I immediately recognized who it was. I knew it was Jordan Hensley. Soto said she tried to take the suspect into custody, but he swung at her, grazing her face and breaking her grip on him. Hensley bolted to another area, then headed down the street, eventually through a parking lot of Cherokee Elementary. With Soto in pursuit the whole time, she jumped a fence into the schoolyard and saw Hensley scale another fence and ended up evading other police officers who were nearby. Soto said she then lost sight of Hensley, but shortly thereafter he was arrested by another group of officers. When it came time to receive the Medal of Valor for her efforts to catch the suspect, Soto said she didn't expect to earn the award, but she did. She summed it up by saying, as a Christian, I just believe God is in control of everything and everything happens for a reason. I feel like he had me there for a reason. And we'll post this hero cop, Miss Soto, on the Facebook page. She's a total hero. Right? And and got five attempted murders, two actual murders.
Right.
And she is our super cop for today.
Super cop.
And that's it. That's all we got.
Well, gentlemen, it's another good one. Y'all will continue to keep you updated on these photos and everything that Jim's working on, and being able to go to different sections of the story and listen to the time-wise and everything else. And I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for listening, liking, and sharing. And if you are so inclined, leave us a review. And we couldn't do it without you lifers.
Mike, anything?
Just.
I guess no.
No. Nothing you want me to get into after further consideration. No, nothing.
All right. Well, then, on that note, until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
For Real Life, Real Crime Daily, peace.
Jenny Wyatt.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holiday. That's why as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals on holiday decor, tools, and more. And you earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards to help you save on holiday and more. Not a member? Join for free today at Lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards, because Lowe's knows deals. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.